I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of May 11th, 2020?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there a motion to approve appropriations ordinance number 20?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I declare the public input session open for any items not on the agenda. Got anything online? Okay, anything from the bench?
I think so.
Okay, declare the public input session closed. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as distributed?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Call on Public Works. He's not here right now.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
The first item I have for your consideration is change order number 11 on Plaza East Place street reconstruction project. While laying out the trees in the east driveway and sidewalk for, while laying out the east driveway and sidewalk for Applebee's, we discovered a tree in Bollard that had to be removed, that was not shown to be removed on the plans. We received a proposal from Votes Park Construction, the amount of $535 to complete the work.
I move that we approve change order number 11, Votes Parker Construction LLC for the Plaza East Place construction project to remove a tree in a bollard for a cost not to exceed $535 and authorize the mayor to sign the change order.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item is on the Hardup Elizabeth Street reconstruction project, change order number 8. On the Hardup Elizabeth Street project, after removing Hardup Hancock to Elizabeth, some soft spots were encountered in the subgrade. These areas were over excavated, replaced with crushed concrete. Due to the poor condition of the street, we may encounter other areas as the work progresses. The contractor submitted a price of $15 per ton for equipment, material, and labor to complete the work. We have a change order for 400 tons to use on an as-needed basis.
I move that we approve change order number 8 with Votes Parker Construction LLC on Heart of Elizabeth Street reconstruction project for foundation stabilization as needed for a cost not to exceed $6,000 and authorize the mayor to sign the change order.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And last, I'd like to give you an update on the projects we have ongoing at this time. First is Grimes Anna Street reconstruction project. Not much progress on this project last week due to rain. Work did continue on excavation of Grimes Loomis to Hulse as weather permitted. Installation of the rock base was rescheduled for this week. Grimes Street is completely closed, Loomis to Hulse. Hulse Street is still closed to through traffic from Grimes to North High Drive. Next, an update on the Hardup Elizabeth Street reconstruction project. Removals on Elizabeth Hardup to Park were completed last week. Work on the sidewalk west of the school started, placing approximately 1/3 of the length. Hardup Street, Avenue A to Hancock is closed to through traffic with local access from both Avenue A and sites. Through traffic on Hardup Street is detoured onto Park. Elizabeth Hardup to Park is completely closed. Next, an update on the Hulse area drainage project. Little work was accomplished this past week due to wet weather. The contractor was able to place the interior walls of the Crescent Box culvert. Closing of Wheeler Street, Hulse to Normandy, is scheduled for this week. Hulse Street is closed to through traffic. Crescent Lane, Hulse to Normandy, is closed completely. Next, an update on the Plaza East Place Street construction project. Work was slowed last week due to wet weather. The contractor was able to widen the pavement joints in preparation for ceiling joints. Normal access is still closed off and a temporary access road is in use into Days Inn and Holiday Inn Express. Next, an update on the Chestnut Street Improvements Project. Installation of storm sewer and tree removal continued last week as weather permitted. Work was slowed as well due to wet weather. Traffic is being carried through construction on this project, and street parking is very limited during construction. Finally, I'd like to remind everyone that weekly construction updates, road closures and detours, and planned road closures and planned detours are available on the city's website at www.mcpcity.com. That's all I have unless there are any specific questions.
Well, hey,
Thank you.
thanks, Jeff.
Okay, Public Lands Facilities, Wayne Burns.
Morning.
Morning.
I have one request, and it's for Turkey Creek Golf Course. Staff is requesting Commissioners' approval to pay the Quick Creek Companies of Wichita, Kansas invoices from the Turkey Creek Golf Course budget for top dressing sand used during the aerification process on the greens for an amount not to exceed $1,444.47.
I'd make the motion to approve payment to the Quick Creek Companies Incorporated, invoice number such and such for top dressing sand used during the aerification process on greens at Turkey Creek Golf Course for an amount not to exceed $1,444.47.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Call on Nick Gregory for administrative report.
I'm going to call on Janetta to have her come up and talk a little bit about special assessments for Eagles Wings Estates Unit 2, Phase 1 and 2.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good.
Good. This morning, you have in front of you quite a few documents that need approval for establishing the special assessments for the Eagles Wings Unit 2, Phase 1 and 2 projects. This was a project for street improvements and sanitary sewer, and based on the calendar of events that was put together by our financial advisor, Stifel Nicholas, you will approve the final project cost from this project and set the public hearing for special assessments. You will approve the attached exhibits which represent the statement of final cost, assessment roll certificate, notice of public hearing, and form of notice of hearing and statement of cost proposed to be assessed. The public hearing will be on June 8th at 9 a.m. for the landowners in the improvement district who will be responsible for paying the improvement costs over an extended period of time. The purpose of this hearing is to hear any and all written or oral objections to the respective assessments set forth. In addition to the public hearing, the Commission should formally cause staff to mail the form of notice of hearing and statement of cost proposed to assess, which is Exhibit D, to each and all of the property affected by such assessments at their last known post office address on the same date as the publication of the notice of public hearing, which is Exhibit C, and to file each of said documents and record in the office of the city clerk and make available for the public inspection. Specific dates and actions are as follows. The notice of special assessment hearing to the McPherson Sentinel for publication on May 27th, 2020. Notice of hearing to be held on June 8th, and statement of cost proposed to be assessed mailed to each of the property owners in the improvement district on May 27th, 2020. And once again, the public hearing to be held on June 8th, 2020. The assessment ordinance to be approved on that same date. Final assessment statements will be mailed to the property owners on June 8th, and assessment ordinance to be published on June 14th, 2020. And then there will be a 30-day prepayment assessment prepayment period, which will begin on June 14th. Any questions?
No. Okay, we are going to do this in five separate motions. So if someone would like to take that first motion and move that,
Okay. I move that we approve Exhibit AD, which represent a statement of final cost assessment roll certificate, notice of public hearing and form of notice hearing and statement of cost proposed to be assessed for Eagles Wings Estates Unit 2, Phase 1, and Eagle Wings Estate Unit 2, Phase 2, street and sanitary sewer improvement.
I'll second that.
any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to establish June 8th, 2020 at 9 a.m. as a public hearing for the purpose of hearing any and all written and oral objections to the respective assessments set forth in Exhibits A through D.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. I move that we, to cause the McPherson City Clerk to publish the notice of public hearing Exhibit C in the official city newspaper not less than 10 days prior to such public hearing date.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I'll make the motion to cause the staff to mail the form of notice of hearing and statement of cost proposed to be assessed Exhibit D to each and all owners of property affected by such assessments at their last known post office address on the same date as the publication of notice of public hearing, Exhibit C, and
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. I move to cause staff to file each of said documents of record in the office of the McPherson City Clerk and make the same available for public inspection.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'd also like to thank Richard Miller, who's on the finance team with me. He's done an exceptional job keeping track of all of the project costs, spreading the assessments. It's a long, tedious process, but he's done a great job and worked very hard on this project, so.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, public hearing announcement, Dick Gregory.
Yeah, the city of McPherson intends to submit an application for community development block grant coronavirus funds through the Kansas Department of Commerce to assist in COVID-19 response for affected local businesses. We intend to request $300,000, which is the maximum allowed. A public hearing is required before applying for the CDBG grant. The public hearing for this request is scheduled for Tuesday, May 26, 2020 at 8:30 a.m. here in the City Commission room, and it's tied with the actual City Commission meeting. We'll actually have that hearing there. At that time, we'll also bring a resolution authorizing approval to apply for the grant, and we'll also ask for selection of a grant administrator, which is required if we pre-select. They can actually assist us with some of the grant writing. I've already started the grant, but I will probably have them look at it and kind of fine tune it and make sure we've got the best grant possible. Currently, these grants are available on a first come first served basis, so getting this in and fairly quick time frame is critical. We do have to have 5 days between the public notice, which happened on Sunday, and the day that that it's approved by the governing body. So our goal is to have have a majority of that done here, of the actual application done by next Tuesday, and maybe just some fine tuning that we sit down with the grant administrator and work through. So currently we also need to say that currently we're seeking businesses in McPherson that'd be interested and feel they will qualify and have the need for funding for the CDBG CV funds. To qualify, you have to have between 1 and 50 employees that would be retained, and of those employees, 51% the full-time equivalent employees have to meet what is considered low to moderate income for McPherson County. I've listed those on here. It's basically for household of one, it's $40,850, going all the way down to a household of 8, which is $77,000. If you want to see those, I might as well just read the whole thing. Household of 2, the income limit is $46,650, and a household of 3, $52,500. Household of 4, $58,300. Household of 5, $63,000. Household of 6, $67,650, and a household of 7, $72,300. And that is a household income. It's not just what, if you're an employer and you think you do this, it's not just what your employee gets paid, it's what the entire household gets paid. So, and by applying for the $300,000, the city will also need to see the justification of need, and that's one of the reasons I'm asking for potentially interested businesses to reach out now, because I'd like to be able to list some of the, at least the amount of businesses and the amount of jobs that we'd potentially be able to retain if we were able to get these funds. We do understand that funds can be used for the following types of things. This isn't necessarily a limitation, but these are the things that the grant identified. That includes working capital for such things as wages, utility, rent, and similar types of working capital. Also for purchases of 60 days worth of inventory needed to reopen. And 60 days will begin the day the business is allowed to reopen. So those expenses could potentially be available as well. Some of the things that the grant will not cover is existing debt, so it won't make mortgage payments, anything else as far as loan payments. It won't pay for that type of thing. Expenses that have already been specifically reimbursed by federal funds. So if you took advantage of the Payroll Protection Act early on, it paid for some of the wages up to a certain amount of time. You can't be reimbursed again for those, but wages going forward, you potentially could. So if you've taken advantage, that doesn't necessarily make you ineligible. It just means you have to use it for funds beyond what you've actually used it for. And then also, businesses may be eligible for the following amounts as it's lined out in the grant application for businesses. With 1 to 5 employees, you can there's up to $25,000 per full-time equivalent can be awarded, with a max of $30,000 per company. Also, for companies that are 6 to 50 employees, there's a max of $35,000 per FTE that is retained, and that's low to moderate income FTEs that are retained, with the max of $50,000 per company. So, as part of the grant, the city will determine how funds will be allocated. That'll all be part of the process that they'll require, that we have a process on how we'll actually award those. And we're working on that currently. If you think you're a strong candidate as a company, I'd ask that you reach out and contact myself. You can call me at my 620-245-2535, or you can email me via nickg@mcpcity.com. And just let me know. What I'm specifically wanting to know is if you think you're a business or industry that's eligible, let me know how many full-time equivalents would be retained as a result of getting this grant. So that's the information I need, and we do hope to go ahead and pursue this. This is pretty competitive. There's about $9 million available for cities in the state of Kansas that are under 50,000, so it'll be fairly competitive for these funds, and we hope to be successful at applying for it, being one of the earlier ones to get it, and we hope to really do some good here in our community. So.
My only question on this is, we say the hearing will be at 8:30, our meeting starts at 8:30, do we want to say 9 o'clock?
I've already published it, so you could say, I think
Okay.
the main idea is that it's listed at 8:30.
Okay,
It doesn't have
we'll
to be
do it
right
at
at
8:30,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
so we'll do it, and then we'll do the pledge and everything, I guess. No, we'll start a minute early to get the other in. Okay, You want to finish?
Yes. Back in August of 2015, the state of Kansas adopted official social media policy that applies for all state agencies, employees, and executive branch. Policy states that all social media records in Kansas must comply with the public records retention requirements outlined in the Kansas Open Records Act. Policy also serves as a model for public agencies managing social media in Kansas. The City of McPherson has an obligation to comply with open records and must be prepared to respond to public record requests. This includes social media, which is becoming more and more the big way that we're communicating out. Tracking social media posts and comments can be challenging and time-consuming. In 2019, the City of McPherson chose Social Archive to automatically archive and track government agency social media accounts. The City of McPherson chose Archive Social from the 3 leading social media archiving companies, including Social Archive, Page Freezer, and Smarsh. In 2019, the cost was divided 3 ways, with splits including 50% for law enforcement, 25% for CVB, 25% for fire department. The annual amount is the same here for 2020 and 2020. Standard package for core archiving platform features is $399 per month, along with risk analysis management add-on feature for $199 a month, for a total of $7,176 per year. That amount can be paid annually or $598 per month from month to month. In the past, we chose to pay annually, and I'd ask that the commission go ahead and authorize us to renew our agreement with Social Archive.
I'll make the motion to approve payment to Archive Social for a 12-month subscription of archiving and tracking the city's social media accounts for an amount not to exceed $7,176.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Just more of an informational piece. We're starting our budget meetings this week and preparing for the 2021 budget preparation. The following City Commission meeting following the meeting today, along with the study sessions, we'll begin our first of the budget meetings, and they'll start at 8. They'll start immediately following this. We'll go out to the community building, and then tomorrow we'll start at 8 o'clock. And so, and on next Wednesday, a week from Wednesday, not this actual Wednesday, the 27th, we'll also start at 8 a.m. and we'll cover a lot of our outside agencies. There's a copy of the presentation schedule that's there here for you to view. We will have our meetings at the community building, and part of the reason is we've set it up to be able, in case anybody in the public shows up, to be able to do a safe social distancing there for anybody that wishes to attend. And anything else you'd mention on the schedule?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
We have the 3-ring binders for each of the commissioners, so it's full of all the different presentations that will be come before you by the department head and the outside agencies on their 2021 budget request. I just want to point out a couple dates that this is just the beginning phases. By June 15th is when we will have the assessed evaluation, or the value of the mill will be determined. So there could be some meetings between now and then if there's any questions or we need more time for that. And then the final date of the certified budget to be approved is by August 25th of this year. So it's definitely 2 to 3 full days of budget presentations and discussions. And as you know, with the impact of COVID-19 to revenues, we'll also have some discussions on the impact of the potential loss in revenues to our 2020 budget. So I appreciate all your time and efforts. It's going to be a long day, but the department heads have done a great job and put in a lot of time and effort on not only looking at their 2021 budget, but also their capital. And I want to thank Richard again for all his work and assistance with this as well. So
Thank you.
look forward to two to 3 days of budgets.
Last item I have for you is a consideration of approval of bonds. There's 3 bonds for your consideration today. The first 2 are Gems Plumbing, Heating and Air Incorporated out of McPherson, a $5,000 gas fitter bond and a $5,000 plumbing bond. And the third one is Arbor Masters, a tree service out of Wichita, a $5,000 tree trimmer bond.
I move we approve the bonds.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I'd like to move that we recess the city commission meeting so that we can go through the study sessions and then come back.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we will move back to city commission meeting. We have a couple items to do. One of the things that's on the city commission is item number 5, opening of various city facilities. I don't believe we have to do anything there because we've said what we're going to do. There doesn't take a motion. This building will stay closed. We'll put new signs up with the playgrounds, and that area will decide how they're going to disinfect and what they want to tell the people to do to help. Other than that, I didn't see anything else there.
No.
Okay,
So you're saying follow the public lands and facilities, Phase 1, which is dated 5/4, and Phase 1.5 dated 5/18.
right,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah, but
Just
we may shift our dates to take care of more weekend use,
Thank you.
our days. And if we can add one in there, we need to do it.
Thank you.
Okay, on the vacation leave policy, there's a motion on the sheet. We did have tentatively an effective date of May 22nd. There's nothing magical about that. We can start with Wednesday, May 21st, but, huh?
Start up today. We've got vacation, we've got a holiday coming up,
Yeah,
holiday weekend, they can get it scheduled. All right.
okay.
That's-
Okay, I'm open to a motion. If you look at the bottom of your sheet, here, and motion number 1 is there. If you want a different date, just make the motion with a different date.
I move that we limit vacation leave usage except for special permission for department heads effective on a date which would be today, May 18, 2020, or other date if preferred by the governing body.
Keep going.
Employees choosing to travel to areas listed on the state's local or destination listed by KDHE as areas required quarantine may be subject to disciplinary action.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any comments on this? Just a reminder, we're saying as of today, we're lifting the vacation stoppage you can put in. That still means you have to get, if this passes, department head approval. So this automatically you don't take off.
I did that because I wanted to give a little bit of breathing room for the department heads so that they can make adjustments as needed, and also with the holiday coming up, holiday weekend coming up, the employees can have a little breathing room here and figure out what they're going to do.
Okay, anything else? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay, we need another motion. I'll go ahead and make the motion to continue accrual of vacation above maximum limits, especially for employees based upon years of service until December 31st, 2021, at which time any over maximum limits will be voided.
I'll second that.
Discussion there. That gives you almost 18 months to work out any overage. And hopefully, everybody will be able to do that, and we don't have other things come down the pike that slow us down again. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do we have anything else that needs to be done? Reminder that the next meeting, because of Memorial Day this coming weekend, we will meet on Tuesday, May 26, at 8:30. And we'll start with a hearing that is been published, and then we will go to the commission meeting.
Okay.
Okay? We are done. See some of you at the community building for budget information at 10 o'clock. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.